The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships, or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about I want to be better. So have you ever found yourself saying, I want to be better? And I think the biggest thing out of this is, being better is great. A lot of times we walk around, and say, man, I want to be better at, business. I want to be better at marketing. I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better husband, a better father, all these things. But at the end of the day, saying these things is one thing. Telling other people is one thing. But does our schedule reflect that we want to be better? And so there's the saying of, hey, you can say you want to be better at being a husband, father, leader, businessman, better at being a marketer, but what does your schedule say about you? What does your schedule say to be true? Because at the end of the day, that is ultimately what matters the most. And, I find a lot of times people want to be better, but their schedules don't line up with their commitment. And, we become ultimately what our schedule dictates. So I can say I'm committed to being better in business. I can say I'm committed to being better at my marketing. I can say I'm committed to being better as a husband. I can say I'm committed to being better even in my health. But what does my schedule say about that? Because ultimately my schedule will reveal the priorities in my life. And, as I sat at church on Sunday, our pastor, talked about, hey, does your schedule will ultimately reveal your priorities. So if you're too busy for God, that means that you have more time for stress or anxiety or other things. If you're too busy for your business, but you have time for Facebook. And that's kind of ironic. I hear a lot of people say, man, I'm just so busy throughout the day, but yet, they're commenting on every other person's stuff. They're, liking everyone's stuff. I could say, listen, I'm too busy to work out, but I'm binge watching Netflix, or I'm too busy, to meditate, but I have time to, have stress and anxiety and be frustrated and all these things. And so most people will be committed. They talk about how committed they are. They talk about all the things that they're going to do, but behind that commitment, there is no preparation. They have almost zero. And commitment without preparation will not fulfill your promise. And, without preparation inside of the commitment. So it's once we make the commitment, then we have to prepare that commitment with, our schedule. We have to prepare that commitment with our priorities. And we have to prepare our commitment with what is important to us and what really matters to us, which means, hey, if my number one goal is to be better, then I better have a schedule that represents that or lines up with that. I better have a commitment that lines up with that. and reveals that that is an actual priority. Where we find this a lot of times is like, okay, so I have a huge commitment, but it's not showing up in my life. How do I really overcome this? Because, number one is like, hey, make it a priority. If I said I want to be better at marketing, show me a schedule or show me in your schedule where this is showing up as a commitment, that it is a priority. And if there's not a dedicated time every single day for you to follow through with this priority and commitment, then it's really saying you don't want to be better. And it's saying that through your action, not necessarily through your words. And so you can say you're committed, but does your schedule show that, that you're making time for this? Does your, schedule show that you have time set aside every single day? One of the things that I began to do is really to map out the things that were the most important to me, the things that I would maybe normally put off because, I would say this for a long time, my physical health was kind of my number one priority. But in doing that, that got me further away from my spiritual health. And so the more I focused on physical health, although I feel really good externally, and it's like, man, look at me, I got a six pack, or look at how nice my arms look. At the end of the day, none of that mattered to my spiritual health. And so these are ways that we can become disconnected from our physical body and our spiritual body, is by focusing more of our attention on our physical body, which, I think that's a big misconception today, is people put way more emphasis on their physical body because they can see the external change it makes, that they miss out on the real change, the internal change that we make by not focusing on our spiritual health the same. And imagine if you took both of these and you said, okay, how much time and scheduling and what is my priority in my physical health and my spiritual health, and how much time am I spending on my physical health compared to my spiritual health? Well, if I go to church 1 day a week and I'm working out 7 days a week, well, there's a disconnect right there. So that means I'm, maybe spending 90 minutes at church, and let's just say I was spending an hour at the gym every single day. One is 7 hours and one is 90 minutes. No wonder there is a disconnect. And so the more I can balance those out, the more balanced I am between my internal health or my spiritual health and my physical health. And so now I have a balance between those, and I'm actually physically stronger. I feel more physically confident. And not only that, I feel an internal strength that I am not just getting once a week, I'm now getting it on a day-to-day basis. And that is really where we have to make time for the priorities. We have to make time and space. Space is like, hey, choose a space where you're going to do this thing every single day and get better. So whether it be in your office, a gym, a living room, a den, a quiet place, maybe at the beach, whatever it is, take your time. Okay, what time are you going to schedule this? And pick a space that you're going to do this, and then have a place set every single day where this is going to happen. And that's really what, living this habit-based lifestyle is all about. It's about making time. It's about choosing a place so that we can have space in our day to make sure that our priorities are lining up with us getting better. And so as I kind of sat back, man, I want to share this message with you today because I believe we all want to get better. I believe that we're all very highly committed, but does our schedule really reflect that we want to be better? Does our schedule reflect that, this is a priority to me? Because whatever you say is great. Whatever you say you're committed to is fine. But at the end of the day, our schedule reveals our priorities. And if we're too busy to get better, well, then we get the alternative of what we really don't want. And so we have to really prepare. We have to prepare every single week. We got to prepare every single day to make time and make a place where we can create space and make sure that we work on things that will actually get us better. So I want to thank you guys for being on here today. If you're looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook. Every single week, we talk about lifestyle habits. We talk about business habits that will actually improve your entire life and lifestyle. It'll improve your physical health and your spiritual health. And that is what we are committed to doing. So guys, until next episode, have a great day.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse